Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to get into a really powerful monologue about betrayal and what happens when you find out that a heart you put all your trust in was basically made of plastic.
Okay, let's dive right in. This is a raw, emotional story about a friendship that just completely shatters under the weight of some serious deceit. We're going to follow this journey from, deep trust to shocking betrayal, and then to an ending that I gotta say you probably won't see coming. So, our narrator starts off by painting this picture of a super deep, trusting bond. We're talking about a connection they truly believed was genuine, straight from the heart. This wasn't just some casual acquaintance. This was treated like family. And that right there, that was the absolute foundation of the whole relationship. This belief in total honesty, in mutual affection. The narrator felt like they could be completely open. They just assumed all that care they were getting back was just as real. But then, well, that solid foundation just starts to crumble. The narrator begins to realize that the love and honesty they were feeling, it was all just an act, a really well-crafted performance with something way, way darker hiding underneath. And here it is, that gut punch of a realization, that moment where all that trust just flips and turns into this heavy emotional debt. All the love and honesty they invested now just feels like a huge mistake, and the only thing they're getting back is pain. This word, plastic, becomes the absolute core metaphor for this whole betrayal. I mean, think about it. It looks right, it can feel smooth, but it's totally artificial. It's mass-produced, and there's just no real substance there. What a perfect word for someone who's just mimicking genuine emotion. So you have to ask, right? How did this whole betrayal even happen? Well, the narrator starts to break down the betrayer's methods, and they don't see them as just little character flaws. They see it as a calculated predatory game, a complete scam. And when you look at these tactics all laid out, man, it paints a really ugly picture. This is a portrait of someone who just uses people for their own gain without any real, genuine investment. It's a clear pattern of taking, manipulating, and in the end, hurting absolutely everyone who gets close. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the stark contrast the narrator draws between themselves and the person who betrayed them. It's not just, I'm good, you're bad. No, it's about substance versus emptiness, power versus pettiness, a huge whale in a deep ocean versus a tiny shrimp in the shallows. It's a massive difference in scale and character. The narrator is basically predicting that this whole web of lies and deception, it can't last forever. The pressure's building up, and sooner or later, the truth is going to erupt in a way that's just impossible to contain, or, clean up quietly. And that Mentos in Coke analogy is just brilliant, isn't it? It perfectly illustrates what's coming. It's not some slow leak, it's a geyser of truth that's going to be sudden, messy, and absolutely unavoidable. It's going to leave a stain. Okay, so this leads to a really fascinating turn in the story. You'd think this experience would crush them, but instead of just anger, it builds this incredible sense of personal strength. Instead of being destroyed by the betrayal, they're somehow lifted up by it. So, instead of feeling broken, the narrator feels protected, empowered, almost invincible. They're drawing power from their own integrity, from a higher power, from their community. They're positioning themselves as totally above all these petty little games. And this comparison just gets right to the heart of it. It highlights the massive difference in their inner peace. The narrator, with a clear conscience, can sleep soundly at night. The betrayer, though, they're left all alone with what they've done. Haunted, scared, praying for a mercy they never gave anyone else. So after all the anger, all the pain, and then this powerful surge of strength, the whole emotional journey takes one last, really unexpected turn. It's not about revenge. The narrator asks this question, and it really challenges what we'd expect, right? When someone wrongs you that badly, you'd think the natural response is rage, a desire to get even. But that's not where this story goes. And here it is, the final judgment. It's not revenge, it's not even hatred. It's a kind of clinical sadness. The narrator completely reframes the betrayal. It's not an act of strength from the betrayer. It's a symptom of a deep-seated sickness. They're ill. They need help. And ultimately, that's the real victory here, isn't it? It's not about getting even. It's about getting to a perspective that's way beyond that, by seeing the betrayer's life as just fundamentally empty and sad, a waste. The narrator finds their own freedom from the pain.
So this story leaves us with this big, lingering question. In a world where so much of what we see is fake and perfectly curated, how do we even spot what's real anymore? And maybe more importantly, how do we protect our own hearts from being broken by people who are just hollow inside?